Okay, I've done just about all I can with the movie game, so let me show you all what I've done, and leave it up to you to decide whether or not to download this. Some objects that were originally out of bounds, such as crates and whatnot, have been restored, but for some reason in this stack in particular, one of them did not want to spawn in. All characters and all challenges have been changed to fit the level, but in this case it's the level and circumstance. You see, at this point in the game, we haven't found SpongeBob yet, so it never really made sense to me that you played as SpongeBob in this challenge while we're searching for him. Also, as stated earlier, all characters and all the challenges now fit the level they're in, which is why you're seeing Goofy Goober Patrick here. The same thing's gonna go for the Thug Tug, the Trench, and the Junk level, with one exception. I went ahead and moved the placement of that one extra in Bubble Blowing Baby Hunt to this spot where you face the last of the enemies, instead of having to go all the way to the Sponge Ball and not die or enter another challenge. So, upon completing this little mini challenge, you won't have to worry about going back for the extra or going back to the holes. You may notice the extra itself, though, is not here, but the effect of it was. I don't know how to fix that, but what's very odd is you're about to see in a second that the extra is still very much collectible, just not in the way, you know, you'd think. Here's another example of a level-specific character being in a challenge that was made for that level. This example obviously is Thug Tug SpongeBob in the second combat challenge. I do the same thing, like I said earlier, for every other challenge in the game, like I said earlier, with one exception. I went ahead and also changed the skins of the characters in, I think, half of the boss fights. This one, as you could probably tell, uses the Patrick Thug Tug skin, and Dennis Strikes Back uses the SpongeBob Thug Tug skin. Also, in case you cannot tell, the skull piles and bones in the background, some of them were floating in the original. I think I accidentally ended up... Yeah, I see like one over here that's still floating, but most of them are no longer floating. That was a surprisingly challenging thing to do, because I had to actually make it look like they weren't floating, and in some areas that's just not possible to do. Rock Slide now has a movie-accurate skybox. Now, that being said, I didn't actually change the skybox, I changed the texture of the skybox. Some levels have textures on the skyboxes and a separate skybox. I currently don't know how to replace a proper skybox, but I do know how to replace the textures. The first part of Now That We're Men also has a movie-accurate skybox. In the movie, the first part of the trench... Actually, I think all of the trench in the movie has a dark blue sky as opposed to a purplish sky. I was going to make the sand purple alongside that, because again, that's how it is in the movie, but I went ahead and decided not to do that, since I think in the game the gray sand just looks better with the overall aesthetic. Now, on the other hand, Now That We're Men Part 2 has a green skybox. What's interesting about this skybox in particular is, according to the game files, the second Combat Arena challenge, which uses the trench skybox, actually had another skybox used. Now, this alternate skybox is scrapped, despite me, literally just now saying that, it's both are used, when that's clearly not the case. This was the alternate skybox they had in the files, and the reason why I picked it is because, it looks a little like the junk level, and, even in the movie, the junk yard is literally on the other side of the staircase that's at the end of this level. I also re-implemented the unused gate feature, which was used to, what we're assuming, to prevent you to get the token. To activate the gate, all you gotta do is hit a button that I put to the side. The button also came with the gate, but for some reason in the game files it was a Sonic Wave guitar button. Well, I changed the programming of it to where you have to use the Sponge Bowl instead. Speaking of the junk level, I have a feeling they plan on you having the trench mustaches, because in the game you don't have them for some reason, and there's no reason you shouldn't have them yet. Similar to what I did in Thug Tug, I made getting the final extra in Planktopolis a lot easier by adding, as you can clearly see now, a series of platforms you can jump on. Now, what I'm intending you to do here is I want you to go for the series of the 50 points first, then jump on the series of platforms, go to the extra, and then, as you will see in a second, climb up the platforms again after getting the extra, and you can skip the wall jump by doing so. And unfortunately, that's really all I myself can do with modding this game. If you are interested, download link is in the description. They are the files, not a pre-patched ISO. This is so if you can solve any problems you may have with the mod, or hell, if you even have issues I've had with the mod that you can fix, or implement any of the planned features of this mod, which will be on above the download link, then you can tinker with them. No PS2 version made, however I'm pretty sure if you mess with the files enough, you could probably make your own PS2 version. Other mods I recommend you download alongside this one for an even better SpongeBob Movie Game experience, or rather a more unique experience, are the Box Token mod and Improved Chocolate River mod by the Proboscis Archive, the Custom SpongeBob Visor by Hoon, Negative Cheddar by Double H, and if you know how to fuck with your files enough, the Ultimate Combat Arena Challenge by VGamer78. The only reason I say you may need to mess with your files a little is because I recommend you replace the 4th Combat Arena Challenge with this one, but if you do that, upon completing the challenge, you will for some reason be warped to Bubble Blowing Baby Hunt, or the game will just flat out crash. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the mod. I hope you download those other mods alongside it. This is the Koopa Eliminator, signing out.